Hey loves, today we're going to talk about transparency and why it's important. So I have a funny story based on this. A few months ago I have very vivid dreams. And in the dream I was talking to some of my spiritual guides and they kept referring to me as a transparency coach. And I remember looking at them like, what the hell is that? And they kept referring to me how I was to help people discover what they truly desire and then help them take action to make it happen. And I was like, you realize I am like the worst person at this. I've had to live a lifestyle underground for so long because like my spirituality was not accepted by my family. Like even my own husband really had a struggle, had a hard time understanding the depths of spirituality that I went into. I'm able to do things that are unheard of to most people. My reality is pretty sci-fi to most people that have never experienced this. I do have like the spiritual six pack of what I'm able to accomplish. But it's hard for me to be able to share that with people that can't comprehend. Somebody just recently was telling me that they were talking to somebody that I had worked with, and they're like, well, she's way more advanced than most people. I take that as a compliment, but at the same time, I don't like to work with people who put me into a category as if I'm bizarre because I can do things that they can't even rationalize yet. It's like people who can set paper on fire with their kundalini energy. Can most people do that? No. But is it possible? Absolutely. And I like to stretch myself to the absolutes of what is humanly possible. And so I've done that in the spiritual arena. So when my spiritual guides came to me and said, okay, we need you to be a transparency coach, I was like, ew. I'm willing to be honest. I don't really care what people think of me anymore. But teaching people how to have this kind of honesty is scary in our world when we have so many people like judging each other of what they can and can't do. So as I started playing with this idea of transparency and being honest about what you truly desire, I started stepping into a lifestyle of authenticity. And there's a lot of people now saying this is the highest state of being, is being able to be completely authentic about what you want and what you desire, and being able to set into place every single day living that authentic lifestyle. Brene Brown talks about this in her book, The Power of Vulnerability, being able to be what does she call, whole-minded, wholehearted people. And that's about being authentic and being honest about what you really desire and stepping into that space. But this creates this to have ultimate wholeheartedness, you actually have to have a balanced lifestyle. And a balanced lifestyle comes to being transparent. It's created by becoming transparent about what you actually want to experience, what you actually desire to experience, and challenging those beliefs that say you can't do that. So let's talk about what you actually desire, okay? On a spiritual side, we need that connections with source, or what, I don't care what you believe, but get really clear about what you want to believe, okay? Do you really honestly want to believe in a hell? Do you honestly want to believe that you're going to be punished for creating a life that you actually desire? Is that beneficial? Or is that more of you putting a punishment in place to keep yourself from doing things that you told were wrong? Why don't we dissolve the belief of hell? I liked Christopher Stubbs' analysis on heaven and hell. He says we're always in a state of creating a heaven and hell on earth within our own reality. And it was really quite funny because he had set a goal. So his goal was to make $10,000 doing what he loves every month. And that was his heaven. And and he raised the bar, and in a few years, in 10 years, he's making $100,000. And the thought of going back to making only $10,000 a month doing what he loves would be hell for him. For a lot of us, that'd be heaven, right? But that's going to be hell for him, because now he's pushed himself to a limit where he's making $100,000 doing what he loves and teaching others how to create this reality. So every day you get to decide what your heaven and your hell is. And that's a belief system I'm willing to work with. I'm not willing to work with the idea that half of us aren't going to make it. We're all going to go to hell. We're going to be stuck in damnation. That belief system doesn't work for me. And so I've said no to that belief system. So spiritually, find something that works for you, not somebody else's idea. Not something, not that we don't take ideas. Like, I like Christopher's understanding of heaven and hell. I like the understanding that we are constantly creating heaven and hell within our own realities here on earth. But find a belief system, whether that's a religion. I don't participate in religions anymore, but I believe in thought forms. And so I believe you can constantly create healthier thought forms, ones that serve you at your highest level. So instead of believing I'm not good enough, I'm going to believe God, Creator, loves me just as I am. And I'm going to support that belief, and I'm going to instill that belief, and I'm going to practice that belief every single day. I'm going to believe the universe loves and supports me and is here because it desires to help me find abundance in all things. It wants me to be happy. If I believe the universe is out to get me, I'm going to create circumstances where the universe comes to get me. So create a lifestyle, a spiritual connection creator that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel protected, that makes you feel blessed, because you need something to believe in. So create a healthy belief system. But what do you actually want to believe? And if there's anything about the culture or religion or state of being that you're in that's not working for you, get rid of it. Get rid of it. There is, if you believe in a God that's punishing, screw that God. Get a new God. Create something. I have a woman that I worked with, and she didn't want to believe in God. She thought she was atheist. And I says, okay, so how's that working out for you? She's like, well, I felt kind of empty. Okay, so you got to believe in something. And guess what we did? We created God inside of her. She now believes in her. I showed her her higher self. She saw the God aspect that she was, and she connected to that. You had to find connection, okay? But what do you want to believe? So that's number one. Financial abundance. What do you want to financially create? You can have the sexiest body in the world. You can be the best guru in the world. What good is that unless you have the abundance to go and explore the world, share your gifts, travel, do whatever, because you have the money and mindset to be able to be abundant. A lot of spiritual healers don't progress because they have this scarcity mentality that if they ask for money, they're not good enough, or they're not being it's this idea that if you ask for money, you're not a good person. But how can you actually teach people to have self-worth if you have no self-worth for yourself? How can you teach? And a lot of the work that I do, if I'm not charging, I'm creating energetic cords, and these people are sucking me dry. So creating a money exchange helps cut that cord and say, okay, I helped you. This is the service I provide. This is what I helped do. You pay me for that. Done. Therapists charge $120 to go sit in their office for 1 hour just to talk. What I do is so much above that. And if I'm not charging my value, then people are not going to get the value out of it. So being able to charge your worth and creating the abundance mindset you want, what do you want to create? And that's why I love Christopher's story, because I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, $10,000 a month doing what you love, that would be heaven for me. But you know what? In 10 years, I plan to be making a lot more than that. I want to be in the millions. I realized Tony Robbins was charging $1 million to do the same kind of coaching that I was charging for $33 an hour. That's insane. It's just knowing your worth and knowing your value, and what do you want to accomplish financially. The next one, occupation. Your occupation is huge. If you hate going to work every single day, That's not living. You have to create an occupation. I don't care how much money you have. You're going to be miserable unless you're actually doing something that you love and that inspires you and that makes you happy. So find out an occupation that drives you. Now, I'm not saying quit your job completely and go dive up the deep end and start doing this occupation. You know, get a job that keeps you stable, keeps you safe, takes care of your family, but then on the side, start building, make it a priority to create an occupation and a lifestyle that brings you ultimate joy. There are people who travel this world and make millions traveling. It's all about what you believe is possible. So stretch it. What do you truly want to be experiencing? Let's talk about connection. Addiction. All of these things are based on connections. What do you believe is possible with connections? What kind of relationships do you want with your family? What kind of relationships do you want with your friends? I have a lot of people who talk to me about spiritual stuff and being so enlightened and all this stuff, and they can't fucking stand their family. And I'm like, what? No, do I have a family that I don't always connect with in the sense of we are on the same wavelength? No, my family believes completely different than I do. And I accept their differences. And a lot of times they feel attacked because I talk about things they think that is, because there's a shame, we need to talk about shame. Based on people's belief systems, they believe if you don't believe like them, you're shaming what they believe. I don't care what people believe. I just like to challenge people's beliefs so they start believing things that are healthier towards them. But I love my family. Like, I absolutely love my family. And I don't even want to change them. Like, they're happy. If you're happy, then do it. Believe what you want to believe. I don't care. But I love my family. But your family isn't always going to be your soul family. So find those connections that make you feel inspired every day. Find those connections that help lift you up and help you create the lifestyle you want. Because your family may not accept the fact that you believe differently they do. And that's okay. You don't have to change your family. You don't have to fit into your family. But if you can't have a healthy, harmonious relationship with your family and go to family reunions without wanting to kill yourself, something's going on. You got to dig deep and figure out what that is. So what do you really want to experience when you're with your family? Let's talk about our relationships. What kind of relationship do you want? I have had so many extreme relationships. I've been able to experience the good, the bad, the up, the down, the polygamy, the monogamy, the polyamory. I've done it all. Like, I've learned so much about relationships. And a lot of it comes down to connection. What do you feel seen, heard, valued by your partner? Do you feel like you're able to open up and talk? Are you able to get angry without them running away all the time? Like, I dive deep and I'm willing to experience it all. I'm willing to push myself to the levels that most people, I don't even recommend most people do, to be honest. The reason why I do it is because I want to know so I can help others. I want to experience so I can help others. I want to have empathy and understanding for what they're going through. So I push myself a little bit further than I recommend most people do. But it's because I want to be able to experience the ultimate relationship. I want to be able to have telepathic connections with my partner. I want to be able to experience out of this world sex. I want to be able to experience a connection so deep that we can feel each other a million miles away. I want to experience things that most people don't even wrap their heads around. I do. And so I challenge belief systems that most people have, and I've created some freaking phenomenal connections with people, like out of this world connections because of it. So what do you want to experience? So next one would be, what do you want to experience in your sex life? A lot of us have shame around sex. We have these ideas of what we're allowed to experience and what we're not allowed to experience in sex. But what if we just wipe that clean and just said, okay, what do you want to experience? Do you want to have... I had a sex life where I went 10 years without an orgasm because I had shamed myself so much about enjoying pleasure and about sex being about just my partner, not about me. And so by healing my sexual stuff, and this is like a work in progress. Like I hit walls all the time, and I'm always having to push myself to that next level. I'm going through an experience right now where I'm trying to push myself to the next level, and it's scary. It's so scary. But what if you're able to experience exactly what you want? That's not limited about right or wrong or good or bad, and you and your partner can be completely transparent and honest about what you desire and about what you want. So marriages don't end up feeling like cages, because life is about experiencing growth. It's about enhancing your ability to experience more and more pleasure. And, like one of my blocks right now is being able to orgasm more than once. Like it used to, I couldn't orgasm at all. Then I've learned how to orgasm. But now it's like, okay, can I have 2 or 3 orgasms? Why not? Why not have more orgasms? Why not learn how to, if you're going to give oral sex, learn how to really give oral sex and have the greatest pleasures in the world? Why not push that? There's, and I'm not going to go into details because this is going to start triggering people and go into their shame and things like that. And I don't want to push you past your limits, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable. But start asking, what do you really want to experience sexually? Do you want to have sex once a month, or would you rather have sex once a day? And if you're in a relationship, you need to be honest and transparent and not do things behind your partner's back. So start talking to your partner about this. And if you're with a partner that's scared, take baby steps. You committed to that person. So be committed in a way that you're willing to help push their boundaries, but at the same time being respectful and making sure you're not breaking that trust, because you don't want to create trauma. If you create trauma, that's a whole other ballgame that I went through and I experienced so that I could learn to help others through it, but it's not fun. So be honest about what you desire. Be transparent. I had a conversation with a lady recently about her husband, because I deal with the polygamous aspects. Her husband wanted another wife, and he was willing to give her all this stuff as long as he was able to get another wife. Hold on, there's a phone call coming in, but I really want to decline it, so I'm going to. So be honest, or she was able to talk to her husband and say, okay, you want this is what I need. I want a liver on the side too. And at first that's not what he wanted, but when he was thinking about it, he was willing to open up and allow her to have what her needs being met too. But they still have these children, and they're still going to create this amazing relationship together, and they're still going to have connection. Connection is vital. And if you have a strong connection with your partner, you're able to do things that are way above what most people think is normal is okay. But it helps create a relationship and a partnership where you don't think you're dying every day inside. So what do you want to experience in your relationships and your sexuality? What about your family life? Like, what kind of mom do you want to be? What kind of parent do you want to be? What kind of activities? I want this amazing lifestyle, but to be realistic, I'm going to have to get myself a nanny. I'm going to have to get myself somebody to help me clean the house. Heck, I may even want a chef one day, because I don't want, when I was younger, I was this amazing mom, this amazing housekeeper, this amazing cook. But as I've gotten older and I want to explore my own life, I want to start doing my own career and things like that, I'm going to have to make changes so that I can have that lifestyle. And that means I don't get to be Betty Crocker all the time, because I want to be out traveling the world, right? So I need to manage my time and get other people to do the things that I no longer want to do. Screw cleaning my house every day, right? If I can make enough money to have somebody come and clean my house for me, why not, right? Do it. Take the steps every day to make that a reality for you if that's what you desire. If I want to have better parenting skills, I'm going to have to educate myself, because being a parent is the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, everybody's like, you're so sweet. No, I'm not. Like, I get angry, I get upset, and I allow my kids to understand that I'm human and I make mistakes, and I say I'm sorry, and I'm willing to own when I've been a shitty mom. But some days I can't do it by myself, and it's owning that reality that we are human, we make mistakes every single day, and getting rid of this stupid idea of perfection. There's not a perfect parent. There's not a perfect body. I know, yeah. So it's getting focused on that. And then let's talk about your body. What do you want to experience? Can you really be happy if you feel ugly and unattractive in your body? every body has amazing potential to be better than what it is. We can exercise. We can eat healthy. Treat your body like a temple. It is your greatest asset. The new wealth today is physical fitness. The new wealth is people who can physically get their body into a state where they look freaking awesome. Because then they can get the jobs they want. Then they can get the relationships they want. But you know what? Even they don't have it all unless they have balance and getting that spiritual connection and getting that financial wealth they need and getting, a relationship they like. You can have a sexy body all day long. You can have sex with whoever you want, but unless you're making connections with those partners, it sucks. Your life is painful. And you got to learn how to get that spiritual connection, that emotional connection, and learning how to heal those inner demons so that you can feel freaking awesome in that sexy body, right? So it's about harmonious balance with all of these different aspects. And if you want that physical body, you're going to have to get your butt out of bed and work out. You're going to have to eat the right food. You have to take action. You can't just I'm going to meditate myself to a sexy body. You can't do that. You actually have to take action to do that. I'm learning that right now. Like, I have to get up every day and go to the gym, and I have to eat right. And you know what? My hormones are freaking out of balance, so I'm going to have to go get my hormones in check and in balance, so that I can start dropping weight and things like that, so I can actually get the body I want. And why not? Why not have that sexy body? Yes, I pushed out 5 kids. Yes, I will probably have to have reconstructive surgery in certain parts of my body. But who the hell cares? If it matters to you and you really want to live the ultimate lifestyle and have the greatest sex life and all of this, make it happen. Make it happen. Dreams come true because you take action on what you and becoming clear about what you actually want, and stop shaming your wants and shaming your desires. I remember the day that I saw this couple that had the relationship that I wanted, and they were both like fake boobs and everything, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, they get this. I've worked my ass off to have this beautiful spiritual connection, and they can be fake as all get out and have exactly what I wanted. You can have it too. And that's why you got to be clear about what you want. I obviously wanted a beautiful body. I was just shaming it because I thought it was wrong for wanting it. And then you got to know what kind of boundaries you need to implement this, because you need to feel safe. And so be very clear about what boundaries you need to implement this lifestyle, and knowing when it's okay to say no. Anyways, thanks for watching today. I hope you have a beautiful day and start becoming very clear about what you want and desire in your life. Thank you.